All right, back here on Inside Wrestling Radio with the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, and then we left off. We were talking a little bit about his past and his history leading up to getting into wrestling there. And Manny, pick it up right there when you were discharged. What happened after that?
Well, once I did my 30 days in the break, got out and then got my life straightened out with the military, with my general under honorable condition. I went back home to El Paso. My mom was getting sick with diabetes, which is a very deadly disease, you all know. Yeah. And I wanted to be around her at that time. And I went back there, and there was a guy named Chavo Guerrero coaching offensive line, and Chavo Guerrero is about, 5'7", 180 pounds?
Yeah.
And he wanted to know if I'd help him coach the offensive line. Yeah. I said, yeah, I think I'd do a better job at it, being an All-American offensive lineman in junior college, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff. So he got me hooked up with that, and I started coaching there for a while at Jefferson, and I figured that's what I'd probably end up doing. But my mom found out that there was a new Coach DeLuca recruited me at UCLA as offensive line coach.
Sure.
Well, they changed over at coaches from Mayfield at West Texas State to a guy named Bill Young out of Baylor University.
Okay.
Well, he brought in DeLuca as one of his staff members, and he found out that I was down the road in El Paso, Texas, which is 3 miles away from Amarillo, three hours away from Amarillo. Uh-huh. And he got a hold of my mom somehow, and she told him I was down there. And he wanted to know if I'd come out and see if I could still play ball.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I hadn't played ball in a while. I hadn't put on the pads in almost 4 years. And, I wanted no part of it. I just wanted to coach. I said, nah, I ain't played this game. And my mom said, it's like riding a bike. You've been so good at it so long, you're just going to get the feel of it. Once you put them pads on, feel like you're doing what you used to do, it's just going to come right back to you.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I took a chance. I called Coach DeLuca, and he told me, you're a veteran. You could use your VA, your GI Bill to get to school and stuff. And we worked on that, and I got up to West Texas State University. That was a career-changing moment. Yeah. I never thought what would happen to me when I got to West Texas State, but before I met all these people, I got to West Texas State. Now, I'm coming in, and some of these guys that are already playing there think I'm an incoming freshman. Mm-hmm. Well, I still had the jitters at night, had the nightmares at times, so I still slept with a gun under my pillow.
Oh, from coming back from Vietnam, you still had a little, okay.
Yeah, I
gotcha.
Still had to live. Sometimes I still go through that now at my age, but then I was really bad about it, and I had to sleep with a gun. So when these guys found out that I was there and I was an incoming freshman, I don't know who told them that. Well, how the seniors are.
They want to haze you.
Yeah, they're going to haze you. They're going to try to get. Sure. They picked the wrong guy to haze. They tried to dental floss my toes, and I whipped out that gun and they run out of that door.
Put a stop to that right away.
Yeah. I actually almost got kicked out of West Texas State before I played it down.
Wow, that's amazing.
So when Coach Don Davis noticed DeLuca got to Bill Young, they said, whoa, we forgot to tell you, he's a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
He says, why didn't somebody say that? So they had to sit down the guy.
He didn't smarten him up, in other words.
No, he didn't smarten him up at all. So they had to call a meeting with the team and smarten up the team. And so by then, everybody thought I was pretty cool, so everybody wanted me to help them out, recon people at night, haze all the other people.
Haze everybody else, sure, yeah. You got a big promotion right there right away.
Yeah, I got it right away.
All right, Manny, move us up forward to when you got into the wrestling business and how all that came about.
That all came about because at West Texas State, I was a pretty tough little football player. I got a scholarship within a week of playing at West Texas State, full ride. And some guy named Kelly Kaninsky, whose dad was Gene Kaninsky, world champion.
Sure.
Got a hold of a guy named Dickie Murdoch and told him, hey, man, you got to meet this crazy little Mexican dude. He says, he gets at West Texas State, he gets in a fight every night at the bar.
Yeah.
So we used to go to a place called, Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
And we go over there, if anybody mess with the football players, I'd punch them. So through him, I met Dickie Murdoch. Uh-huh. And Dickie Murdoch took me to the country western bar one night called the Caravan Club. I went over there, and Dickie's raising hell like he normally does. And these cowboys just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then Terry Funk, I met Terry Funk the same night. And Terry Funk comes in, and he heard about it, and we were all talking. Vicky Funk, who's like a mother to me now.
Yeah.
I've known him all my life. Mm. Terry grabs me, pulls me on the dance floor. He says, get on me like a horse. I'm going to buck you off. And I said, I ain't doing that. Yeah. He drops on all fours. He goes, you better get on me. I said, okay. He started bucking on the dance floor. We're going up and down. And a couple of them cowboys didn't like that.
So they didn't like it, huh?
They didn't like it at all. So they wanted to start something. Dickie wanted to see with his own eyes how tough it was.
I got you.
So that boy come over and said something and try to start trouble with Terry first. And Terry, one of the greatest things I've seen is Terry grabbed him by the wrist and kept yelling, "Don't hit me now, don't hit me." And took the guy's hand and hit him, hit himself. And Terry beat the hell out of the boy.
Right there in the bar.
Right. And then I started in. So I guess I got past muster.
Yeah,
I passed muster.
You made the grade.
Yeah, I made the grade. I passed the muster. They knew then and there that I'd back the boys up.
Sure, absolutely.
That's how it started.
Manny, tell us about your trip to Puerto Rico. And there's been a lot of controversy about the big Invader #3 spot that's coming over there where you come up coughing up all the blood and all that stuff. That story's been going around for years. What's your side of that story?
Tito Santana, I'll tell you a little story, a little before we had to. Tito Santana called me this past Sunday. Our football coach, before Young Mayfield passes away, and they're having a big deal for him September 17th at West Texas State. And a lot of the old timers that paid for him are going to come back and honor him and stuff. And the first thing that hit my mind that Frank Goodish wouldn't be able to be there. Yeah. Bruce Brody.
Right.
And that's when things come back to me.
Sure.
Well, that thing was just plain simple. Revenge. You know. He was like a brother to me. He took me under his wing, him and Stan Hansen in Japan. They took care of me when I was there. They showed me what to do so I can come back to Japan, make that kind of money that they were making.
Sure, yeah.
Plus, I was a West Texas kid. Right. And they already knew the reputation, got ahead because of the Funks and Murdoch and all them guys. Right. So we all took care of each other because we all came from that one university. Right. And so I took it more personal because me and Bruiser had a territory, the Southwest Territory, for Joe Blanchard, Tully's dad.
Sure, yeah.
We worked for him. We just ran up and down the road together, trained together every day at the gym, and we became close. Yeah. So when that happened, I was in Japan, and I got the news from the Japanese people, and they just refused to let me go to Puerto Rico.
The news of Brody's death.
Yeah, Brody's death.
Yeah.
And that hit me hard because I was in Japan. I just knew somewhere or another I'd have to get back there.
Yeah.
Even the Japanese company was, all against it.
Yeah, they didn't want you going back.
No, they didn't want me going back at all.
Yeah. Did they think you might end up in the same boat, or did they think they were afraid of what you might do?
The office in Japan and the guy that ran the Gaijins, the white guys or the American guys, Masao Hattori has known me all his life since he was in Florida in '79 with me, and he knew what I do.
So they were more worried about what you would do instead of what would happen to you.
Hattori seen me in Florida when I was a rookie and going after people and stuff like that.
Sure.
So.
What was the aftermath of that, Manny? How'd you get out of town?
My wife was a flight attendant for U.S. Air.
Oh, that was convenient.
Yeah, she was a flight attendant for U.S. Air, and I had non-rev passes, and I got a ride to the airport and just went in my boots and everything through customs with my wrestling bag, my stuff, went in. People just looking at me, got the bathroom changed in my stuff, and went on. I already had it all set up. I knew I wasn't going to be able to stay there long, so I was going to get out of there.
Manny, real quick, and we just got a ton of more things to cover with you, but real quick before we run out of time in this segment, can you give us, I understand you got a book and a DVD coming out and all kind of stuff like that. Tell us about it.
Derek Vanderford is a writer for the Union Times, and he's been working with me, and he's been one of my students for the last 7 years. And he's been training with me in certain places, traveling up and down the roads with me, long trips. We used to film, have fun. Sure. And me and him and going. The reason the book's taking so long is because we party too much during the book and have so much fun while we're filming that we got to add more stories.
Right, stories keep coming.
They keep coming. And that's what I'm proud of. But the thing is, the editor reads a book. He wants me to talk more about me, but I don't talk about me like these other guys do. It's not about me. Right. It's about pro wrestling and the people that made me. Yeah. It's like people like J.J. Dillon and Ole Anderson. They saved pro wrestling. No, you didn't. Yeah. Pro wrestling's been around since the 40s. Sure. And nobody's going to save it. It's going to be here forever.
It's going to be,
It's going to be here. As long as people want to learn the business, get on boots and tights and go in the ring and do something, it'll be here.
Absolutely.
And nobody's going to save it. It's going to be here.
Absolutely.
But I talk about Dickie Murdoch, Terry Funk, Blackjack, the people that made me and all the guys that laid on their back for me.
Man, that's
to
awesome.
Get me over.
That's awesome. And you just don't have that. And nowadays with some of these newer guys, you just don't have that level of respect. And that's awesome to see that, man. It really is. Let me hold you up right there. We're up on a break. We'll be right back with more Inside Wrestling Radio right after this with Manny Fernandez.